Before we begin, I would like to say just a couple of things. First of all, this entire evening is being recorded, so please don't shout anything obscene during the program, because it may clash with some of the things that I say. This is a song which is based on the same principle as that of the old limerick. There was a poet from Japan whose poetry never did scan. When asked about it, he said, "I don't doubt it, because I always try to get as many syllables in the last line as I possibly can." Now the man that owns them good peanuts and giveth his neighbor none, that man can have none of my good peanuts when his good peanuts is gone. And the chorus for everyone to join in at this point. Won't it be joyful, joyful, joyful? Won't it be joyful, son? Won't it be joyful, joyful, joyful when his good peanuts is gone? Let me also point out that when once I asked a man how many canaries I could get into a certain cage, he told me I could get 37 if I pushed hard enough. Well, right now we're going to push hard. Now the man that owns those soft, sweet soda crackers and giveth his neighbor none, that man can have none of my soft, sweet soda crackers when his soft, sweet soda crackers is gone. So won't it be joyful, joyful, joyful? Won't it be joyful, son? Won't it be joyful, joyful, joyful when his soft, sweet soda crackers is gone? A man who owns those rich, red, ripe, rare strawberry shortcakes and giveth his neighbor none, that man can have none of my rich, red, ripe, rare strawberry shortcakes when his rich, red, ripe, rare strawberry shortcakes is gone. Won't it be joyful, joyful, joyful? Won't it be joyful, son? Won't it be joyful, joyful, joyful when his rich, red, ripe, rare strawberry shortcakes is gone? Now the man that owns those $3 Plymouth Rock all woolly yard white, guaranteed not to rip and to tear, work pants and giveth his neighbor none, that man can have none of my $3 Plymouth Rock all woolly yard white, guaranteed not to rip and to tear, work pants when his $3 Plymouth Rock all woolly yard white, guaranteed not to rip and to tear, work pants is gone. So let's all try the chorus. Oh, won't it be joyful, joyful, joyful? Won't it be joyful, son? Won't it be joyful, joyful, joyful when his $3 Plymouth Rock all woolly yard white, guaranteed not to rip and to tear, work pants is gone? Many of these very old songs are kept sort of a part of a secret heritage that we have and are only sung in small groups, of which this is a large assortment. For instance, there's a song that I only myself learned very recently, and yet everybody I sing it to says, "Oh, we've known that for years." That is the response I got when Freddie, Billy, and I started to sing it in preparation for this program, which will come as a surprise to many of you who didn't know we prepared for it. My husband's a carpenter, a carpenter, a carpenter. My husband a carpenter is he. All day he screws bolts, he screws bolts, he screws bolts. At night he comes home and drinks tea. Sing, hey, diggy, diggy, jig a little piggy, follow the band, follow the band, follow the band. Hey, diggy, diggy, jig a little piggy, follow the band, fall in and follow the band. My husband a farmer, a farmer, a farmer. My husband a farmer is he. All day he plows fields, he plows fields, he plows fields. Nights he comes home and drinks tea, singing, hey, diggy, diggy, jig a little piggy, follow the band, follow the band, follow the band. Hey, diggy, diggy, jig a little piggy, follow the band, fall in and follow the band. My husband's a groom, a groom, a groom. My husband a groom is he. All day he mounts horses, mounts horses, mounts horses. At night he comes home and drinks tea, singing, hey, diggy, diggy, jig a little piggy, follow the band, follow the band, follow the band. Hey, diggy, diggy, jig a little piggy, follow the band, fall in and follow the band. My husband a glazier, a glazier, a glazier. My husband a glazier is he. All night he blows glass, he blows glass, he blows glass. Daytime he comes home and blows tea, singing, hey, diggy, diggy, dig a little piggy, follow the band, follow the band, follow the band. Hey, diggy, diggy, dig a little piggy, follow the band, fall in and follow the band. My husband a sexton, a sexton, a sexton. My husband a sexton is he. All day he bangs bells, he bangs bells, he bangs bells. At night he comes home and drinks tea, sing, hey, diggy, diggy, dig a little piggy, follow the band, follow the band, follow the band. Hey, diggy, diggy, dig a little piggy, follow the band, fall in and follow the band. My husband a mason's a mason, a mason. My husband a mason is he. All day he lays bricks, he lays bricks, he lays bricks. Night he comes home and drinks tea, then hey, diggy, diggy, dig a little piggy, follow the band, follow the band, follow the band. Hey, diggy, diggy, dig a little piggy, follow the band, fall in and follow the band. My husband's a miner, a miner, a miner. My husband's a miner is he. All day he goes down, he goes down, he goes down. Nights he comes up and goes down, saying, hey, diggy, diggy, dig a little diggy, follow the band, follow the band, follow the band. Hey, diggy, diggy, dig a little diggy, follow the band, fall in and follow the band. When I was a kid, a long, long time ago, I heard a song that I love dearly. It's called My True Love, Golden Hair, or even Locks and Bolts. The principle, I guess, is like that of the fellow who went to the woman down in the southern mountains and said, Mother, I want to marry Bessie Hatfield from down the way. And Mother says, you do? Is she a virgin, son? And he said, yes, Mother, she is. And she says, well, we can't marry then, because if she ain't good enough for her folks, she ain't good enough for ours. Well, and so in this song, for some reason, in the old ballad, the young man was not supposed to marry the young girl, but he managed. Oh, let me tell you of my love. She is a lovely, sweet one. She is the darling of my life, has made it a complete one. Me and my love lay down to rest all on a summer's day. When I awoke, I was alone. My love was stole away. I followed to her father's house, followed for my dear. The servant said on every hand, oh no, she is not here. And then I heard her own soft voice come from the highest window. Oh love, dear love, I would come down, but locks and bolts do hinder. My anger flew, my sword I drew, into that house I'd enter. Her father and 3 armed men 'gainst me that door did hinder. With angry cry I raised my sword, and at them I did batter. And so with fear they all fell back, and through that house did scatter. I took my love into my arms, to my breast I hold her. Her lovely hair, like golden strings, come twisting down my shoulder. And all you men who love a girl and someone soon would hinder, must do as I for my true love, though locks and bolts should bar you.
There have been a number of observations made on the fact that the Russians have been able to get a man up in the air higher than ours. And it was some comedian who said that proves that their German scientists are better than our German scientists. In 1946 it was, I believe, Vern Partlow, a newspaperman on the West Coast, now on the West Coast, wrote us a talking blues called The Talking Atom. I'm gonna preach you a sermon about old man Adam, and I don't mean Adam in the Bible, drat-em. I don't mean Adam that Mother Eve mated, but I do mean Adam science liberated. Einstein said he was scared, and Einstein got scared. I got scared. Stop the world! I want to get off! Scared of the atom bomb? All you got to do is get the people in the world together with you. Because if you don't get together and do it, well, one of these days you get shot to hell, and that's no future for a growing boy. Or any of you shrinking girls out there either. Now, the moral of my sermon I'm trying to say is that the atom bomb is here to stay. It is going to stay fixed, that's plain to see, but oh, my dearly beloveds, are we. Yeah, we hold these truths to be self-evident. All men can be cremated equal. You know, life used to be such a simple joy, and the cyclotron was just a super toy. You get born, you'd live, and even marry, and atom was just a word in the dictionary. A 4-letter word. Even the kids understand it now. 2 kids playing in the street, one's wearing a cowboy hat, the other one a rocket outfit. Kid with the cowboy hat says, bang, bang, you're dead. So the kid with the rocket helmet says, zip, zip, you're sterile. Then some science boys from every clime, they got together and they worked for overtime. Worked and they worked, and when they were done, why, they harnessed up the power of the goddamn sun. They were splitting atoms. Bang! Right in the middle. Diplomats are still splitting hairs. Well, you heard about Leslie Groves on the radio program. The fellow said to Mr. Groves about how big a bomb would be necessary to destroy a city, say, the size of Chicago. He says, oh, that's a very hard question because Chicago's a long city. There's no mountains on either end, it's sort of plains around there. And he worked for about a half an hour. He says, I'd say about 4 megatons will do it. Fellow says, how about a city the size of Paris? He says, well, Paris is a different thing. It's sort of clustered close, and the Seine is in the middle. It would sort of spell. And he worked for a little while. He said, Paris? He said, I say about 3 megatons would do it. Fellow says, how about Moscow? He said 5. Then the Jingo Boys took their battle stations to turn back the clock on the United Nations, get a corner on atoms, maybe extinguish every damned atom that couldn't speak English. It was down with foreign-born atoms. America for American atoms. But the Atoms International, in spite of hysteria, it flourishes in Utah and even Siberia. And whether you're black, white, red, or brown, question's the same when you boil it down. To be or not to be, that is the question. It isn't a question of military datum, like who gets their fustest with the mostest atom. It's the people of the world must decide their fate. Stick together or disintegrate. It's up to the people, because the atom don't care. He just flits around as free as the air. Don't give a damn about politics or who gets whom into whatever fix. All he wants to do is sit around and have his nucleus bombarded by neutrons. Well, I come to the end, and I hope I made it clear about what you gotta do and what you gotta fear. I am finished now. Here's the thesis: peace in the world, or the world in pieces. Now, this is a song I learned in Minnesota. It was taught to me by an old lumberjack who taught me a lot of things. A lot of songs, a lot of stories, none of them true. The lumberjacks worked 49 hours a day. And at the end of the year, they would collect all the money they had earned, sometimes as much as $1.50. And they go to the big city, which consisted mostly of a saloon with rooms upstairs. And they would spend the money wildly. The next day, they'd be back in the forest dreaming about their next spree.
It was early one morning I got into town. In sweet recreation I went strolling around. When I spied a hotel in the fore-afternoon, 'twas sporting a sign, said the Red Light Saloon. So I picked up my courage, I stepped to the bar. A pretty young lady said, have a cigar. I took that cigar, saying thanks for the boon. But she said, that's our way in the Red Light Saloon. Then she mussed up my hair and sat down on my knee. She said, you are a lumberjack that I can see. You are a lumberjack that we all know, for your muscle is hard from your head to your toe. She proceeded to prove that my muscles were right. I smoked that cigar without striking a light. And my head it went rising like a balloon from the treatment I got in the Red Light Saloon. It was early next morning, I bade her goodbye. She waved from the window with a tear in her eye. So I did not discover till early next noon my wallet was still in the Red Light Saloon. Well, I cursed that young woman till the forest turned blue, and with whiskey and women I swore I was through. But I knew as I swore I would give my fortune to be back with her in the Red Light Saloon. I've been a-wandering early and late from New York City to the Golden Gate, and it looks like I ain't never gonna cease my wandering. My daddy was an engineer, my brother drove a hack, my sister's on the corner and the baby bowls the jack, and it looks like I ain't never gonna cease my wandering. There's fish in the ocean, geese out on the sea, a red-headed woman made a fool out of me, and it looks like I ain't never gonna cease my wandering. Yes, I've been a-wandering early and late from New York City to the Golden Gate, and it looks like I ain't never gonna cease my wandering.
Here's a song I just learned. If you want to join in the chorus, you may, but I have a strong sneaking suspicion that none of us are going to know it before the end of the song.
Old King Cole, he called for his bowl and he called for his fiddlers three, and every fiddler had a very fine tune, and a very fine tune had he. Fiddle in and out, said the fiddlers, merry men are we. There's none so fair as can compare with the boys of the infantry. Old King Cole, he called for his bowl and he called for his jugglers three. Every juggler had a very fine trick, and a very fine trick had he. Juggle with your bowls in the air, said the jugglers. Fiddle in and out, said the fiddlers, merry men are we. There's none so fair as can compare with the boys of the infantry. Now King Cole, he called for his bowl and he called for the huntsmen three, and every huntsman had a very fine call, and a very fine call had he. I've got a horn, said the huntsman. Juggle with your balls in the air, said the jugglers. Fiddle in and out, said the fiddlers, merry men are we. There's none so fair as can compare with the boys of the infantry. Old King Cole, he called for his bowl, he called for his porters three, and every porter had a very strong back, and a very strong back had he. I can't get it up, said the porter. I got a horn, said the huntsman. Well, juggle with your balls in the air, said the jugglers. Let's fiddle in and out, said the fiddlers, merry men are we. There's none so fair as can compare with the boys of the infantry. Now King Cole, he called for his bowl and he called for his stokers three. Every stoker had a very long shovel, and a very long shovel had he. We'll drop the load down here, said the stoker. Can't get it up, said the porters. I've got a horn, said the huntsman. Juggle with your balls in the air, said the jugglers. Fill it out, in and out, said the fiddlers. Merry men are we, there are none so fair as can compare with the boys of the infantry.
Frenchman was having an argument with an American about the relative sophistication of their cultures. And the American said, as proof that America was sophisticated, we're making a motion picture in America based on a book which is banned in France. And the Frenchman said, really, what book? And the American says, it's called Lolita. And it's about a 49-year-old man who makes love to a 12-year-old. The Frenchman said, really, a 12-year-old what? Well, people have found companionship with very many odd creatures.
Don't look at me.
And among them, the fellow in this song called Old Dolores. Dolores is a town.
In the valley down below where the little pinions grow, and it's never less than half a day to water, there used to be a town where the creek come tumbling down from the mesa where it never really ought to. The night was bright with candlelight, the whole town joined the chorus, and most any man in sight let his cattle drift at night to mosey to the streets of old Dolores. Then things would kinda spin till the sun come up again, like the back of some old yellow prairie wagon, and would show up dim and red about 100 head of our saddle ponies standing reins a-dragging. The red brick walls and the waterfalls, the whole world lay before us, but the adobe huts are gone, and the goat bells in the dawn don't tinkle in the streets of old Dolores. And the girls from Mexico used to wander to and fro. When I used to meet her by a willer, well, I guess that any girl would give a fella's head a twirl when the same's been using saddles for a pillar. The big cigars, the wide-eyed stars, the smiles that waited for us. Well, if there's any little well inside the gates of hell, I'll bet the boys have named it Old Dolores.
If you want to get in trouble, let me tell you how to do it. Just get yourself a guitar and then you're into it. Practice all day and you practice all night, and your friends say, brother, that just doesn't sound right, and they start throwing rocks at you. Pretty soon you got rocks outside your head. You already had them inside your head. You're surrounded. Well, I bought a guitar about a week ago, and the friend says you can play it in a week or so. He gave me the pick and a book or two and said, now, Oscar, it is up to you. Dog charged me $4.95. Well, I had $4.94, but he said he'd trust me a penny. Well, you could see how when I spent my dough, I just couldn't let it go to waste, you know. So I took that book, that pick and all, and I went back home to where the trees are tall, Brooklyn. Well, I like wide open spaces. Besides, my dog was running around with a telephone pole near Pulaski Street. Well, my first 3 weeks and months were spent trying to get some music from this instrument. Book says easy as ABC, but I tell you, my fingers started killing me. I couldn't mush the strings down. Started getting blisters, then I started getting calluses on the blisters. Tried growing a beard just for the strength of it. Well, I practiced days and I practiced at night. My mother's hair started turning white. Her face got lined with discontent. I could see her patience was well nigh spent. And one night, I discovered she was using my nylon strings and making spaghetti out of them. My sister took it, the worst of all, 'cause she went and got married that coming fall. She said it was love, but I have my doubt. I know what it was that chased her out. She was game, but not game enough. Said she'd rather have children anytime. My father, he took it in a different way. He says, son, you can turn your mother's hair gray, chase your sister out into the snow, but one of us has got to go, and I was here first. And that's why the very next day when my clothes were packed, I slung this guitar across my back. I took myself a westbound freight to find myself some happier fate. Westbound takes you to New York. Ended up on radio. I still can't play it. Freddie's doing it for me now. Anybody out there got $4.95? $4.94? Trust you, Penny. There's a story about a fellow who walked into a pub, a waterside cafe, and said, I want a scotch and soda, make it fast. The bartender says, you want a scotch and soda, sir, you can have it quickly. And the first fellow says, bartender, you make it for the bee. The bartender says, no, I'm not making fun of you. At that point, another customer came in and said, give me a scotch and soda, bartender. Bartender says, sure, you want a scotch and soda, here it is. The first fellow was very angry. He says, bartender, I thought you said you wanted to make fun of me. Bartender says, I'm not making fun of you, I'm making fun of him. In this song, the Irish are making fun in a way of the Irish, of some of the maudlin songs which became popular many, many years ago. And with all the jokes in this song, with all the humor, and with all the poking fun, it still turns out to be what I think one of the loveliest. It's called Molly Brannigan.
Oh, ma'am, dear, did you ever hear of pretty Molly Brannigan? Head, she's gone and left me, and I'll never be a man again. Not a spot on my hide will another summer tan again, since Molly's gone and left me all alone for to die. It's a spot where me heart was, you could easy roll a turnip in, as big as any paving stone, from Dublin to the Devil's Glen. She had to take another heart, she might have give mine back again, and not have left me weeping all alone for to die. Ah, faith, I can remember when the milking time was past and gone. She took me to the meadow and she swore I was the only one ever she would love, or the base or the cruel one. After that to leave me all alone for to die. Sure I can remember as we walked out the rain begun, I clothed her in me pantaloons, for devil a waistcoat had I on. My shirt it was to find drawn, ah, the base, the cruel one. After that to leave me all alone for to die. The inside of me body is as weak as water gruel, ma'am, and divil a bit upon me bones since Molly proved so cruel, ma'am. If I had a blunderbuss, I'd go and fight a duel, ma'am. But what need I care when I am only to die? I feel myself as weak as any man is meant to, ma'am. Will you come into my wake when I go that last meander, ma'am? I'll feel myself as valiant as the gallant Alexander, ma'am, when I hear you crying round my grave, ah, why did he die? We have one more song to sing before we get off the stage, and they close Town Hall up for the night and get it ready for the serious music of the next day. I hope you'll all join in with this song, and I hope you all enjoy it too. It's a funny song in a way. It requires tremendous audience participation. It requires a determined effort on your part. You have to go boo at some times and ray at the other times. And not only does it require a certain amount of discrimination on your parts as to cry boo at the things which are no good and ray at the things which are good, and of course tastes differ from person to person. But also you have to be ready to sing the chorus at the very end, at the moment when you see by the light in my eye that we have come to that happy point. The chorus, which also begins the song, is: parties make the world go round, the world go round, the world go round. Parties make the world go round, let's have a party. We're gonna tear down the whole damn bar. Build a new bar. 1 inch deep. 6 miles long. Soda's gonna be $50 a glass. Whiskey's gonna be free. 1 to a customer. Served in buckets. We're gonna dump all the beer in the river. And then we'll all go in swimming. Gonna be no bartenders in our bar. There's gonna be barmaids in long dresses made out of cellophane. Gonna be no bar stools at our bar. Bar beds. No girls allowed out of the bar with clothes on. You can't take our girls to your rooms. They take you to their room. You can't sleep with our girls. They won't let you sleep. There will be no loving on the dancing floor. There'll be no dancing on the loving floor. Parties make the world go round, the world go round.